Hi friends! Welcome to another episode of Seek This Week. This year, the Ethical Society is celebrating the examined life, and our February theme is liberation. Last week we talked about St. Louis's history in slavery, and how enslaved St. Louisans attained liberation. That kind of liberation is freedom on a grand scale. So this week I thought about what freedom would look like on a personal level, and then the weather got truly awful. It was cold and bleak. And the news and the politics were cold and bleak. I got sick from some suspicious Super Bowl snacks that were probably, in retrospect, too cold and resulted in bleak. And after almost a year of hanging in there through the pandemic and everything it's entailed, I stalled out. I hit the wall. I got into bed and I slept for days. I come from a family with a long history of bipolar and anxiety disorders, so this isn't new to me. One notable episode resulted in my failing a semester of college because suddenly I found myself unable to leave my dorm room, or to consume anything but Diet Coke and Fig Newtons, or to pay attention to anything but reruns of The Nanny. Thankfully, as I've gotten older, I found a good balance of methods to manage a disorder, and this sort of low now happens only once every few years. So, there I was, burrowed in my comfy blankets with critical thinking and adult responsibilities waiting for me out there in the freezing cold world. And one of those responsibilities is that I make a weekly Seek video, and I could not come up with ideas or even the motivation to brainstorm. And then the anxiety kicked in, and I was certain I was going to be hated or fired or run out of town on a rail. I was not feeling liberated. And I thought if only they'd understand what was happening, or more distinctly, not happening, in my brain chemistry. And that's when I realized they could. You could. All I had to do is tell you about it. And there it was. A sigh of relief. A little sense of liberation. And, as a delightful bonus, something specific to address in this week's video. I got out of bed and I slowly started regaining a grip on each of my daily responsibilities, one by one. Knowing I could share the story with you instead of carrying the burden myself brought me a little bit of personal freedom. And that brings us to our Seek mini quest of the week. It's another one you don't need to report back to us if you aren't up for it. So ask yourself, what burdens are you carrying alone? How are they limiting your sense of freedom? Who could you talk to about it? I totally understand that there are times a burden has to be carried alone, but I hope that by thinking about some of your specific burdens, you'll find a couple that might be lightened by sharing with someone you trust. If you have a burden you need to lighten and you don't know where to turn for a helping hand, don't forget those of us here at the Ethical Society. We count each and every one of you as a member of our spiritual family, and we're here to help. So, to reach out to us for these or any other reasons, you can send an email to seek@ethicalsdl.org or check out our website to find specific email addresses for all of our staff. Thanks again for joining us. I hope you have a great, only lightly burdened upcoming week. And until next time, remember that every person deserves to be treated fairly and kindly, and that includes you.